The dish I'm gonna make is called chai boey. That is a Penang Hokkien. Now, this is traditional to the Hokkien Chinese in Penang. Now, these ingredients right here, this recipe is my mother's recipe. The key ingredient for making chai boey is the Chinese mustard green. This in Hokkien is called gua chai, or in Cantonese is called gai choi. Now, the Chinese mustard green looks quite similar. People confuse this and think it's choy sum, but it's not choy sum. The Chinese mustard green itself, the leaves has jagged edges if you look carefully. Now, the other essential ingredient that my mother used, and I learned this from my mother, is the salted plum. This salted plum comes in a jar, which is this right here. Other ingredients: 1 onion, some ginger, garlic cloves, dried chilies, tomato. Now this right here is called tamarind peel. The tamarind peel itself will add the sourness to the stew. Now, just because I like carrots, and these are carrots in my fridge, so I'm gonna use some of the carrots, and of course the crispy roast pork, which I just made today since I didn't have any leftovers. But this is a traditional dish for Penang Hokkien. It's actually a vegetable stew making use of any roast meat left over from Chinese New Year or a wedding banquet. Chai boey actually means leftover vegetables, okay? Chai means vegetable, boey means the end or the tail. It doesn't make any sense if you try and translate it literally, but it actually means making use of any leftovers. What I've done is I've cleaned and washed all the vegetables. The Chinese mustard green, I've cut it in half and separate the stem from the leaves. Tomato, I've just removed the tip off from the tomato. Carrots, I've cut it into small bite pieces. And lemongrass, I've cut it into half and then I bruised the lemongrass by smashing on it. Onions, I've removed the skin. The ginger itself, I've also bruised the ginger. Garlic, just leave it the way it is with the skin. And the last thing which I did was I have sliced my roast pork. I'm gonna use this half of the roast pork in my stew to give it the flavor. What I'm gonna do now is to toss all these ingredients into the clay pot except the vegetables, because I don't want the vegetables to be too soft. It becomes too yucky to eat. So I'm gonna leave this a little bit later before adding into the clay pot. Okay, I'm gonna add the lemongrass, ginger, the red onion, garlic, tamarind peel, the red chili, the salted plum, and the roast pork. Next, add enough water to cover all the ingredients in the clay pot. This has been boiling for 20 minutes, so I'm gonna turn it down to low heat and let it slowly and gently simmer for another 15-20 minutes, and I'll check back again before I put in the vegetables. Now I'm gonna add the carrots and the Chinese mustard green, gai choi or gua chai. Turn it back up to a high heat. I'm gonna have a taste. It is salty, salty from the salted plum, which is how the chai boey should be. It's meant to be salty, sour, and spicy. What I'm gonna do is, because I like my stew to be spicy, I'm gonna add some bird's chili. Now, chili freezes well in the freezer. I just got this out from my freezer, and I'm gonna put in 2 of these, the Thai bird's chili, and they're spicy. Hopefully it will add a little bit more spice in my stew. So that's 1 and that's 2. I'm just gonna remove the onion from the stew. Okay, I'm gonna add the leafy part of the Chinese mustard green. I'm gonna add the tomato as well. I'm gonna close the lid back on. I'm gonna turn off the heat right now and remove some of it to have a taste. Some of the Chinese mustard green. Chai boey with crispy roast pork leftover, Chinese mustard green, tomato, carrot in a sour, spicy, salty broth. My mother's recipe, a traditional Penang Hokkien chai boey. If you enjoy watching this video, subscribe and share with your friends and family. Until then, I'll see you next week. My name is Victor Koo. Thanks for watching.